I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. My mom was an evangelist. She would take my brothers and sisters and I off to church every Sunday, and I really remember her talking about women and how they should cover their heads out of respect for God. So as I got older, I moved to the South, and boy did I really see women covering their heads. It became a blending of faith and fashion. There were polka dot hats, there were hats with feathers, all different types, and as a photographer, it was a dream for me to be able to capture these women on film. There were some serious things that I learned about women, and that wearing a hat meant more than just making a fashion statement. For a lot of these women, during the work week, they would have to wear pretty menial clothing on their jobs. Some of them were maids and cooks and things like that. But on Sunday, that was the day that these women put a fancy hat on their head and they went to church, and they would show the world that this is how God has blessed me. I also learned a few humorous lessons. Never touch a woman's hat. There are hat queen rules, and I learned that never touch a woman's hat. I also learned on this project that not all women can wear hats. Women who really wear hats and who can really pull it off are called hat queens. They look beautiful in the hat, they wear the right size hats, and we call them hat queens. Clary Sanders, our cover model, beautiful woman. I photographed her right after service at her church, and I had her sit on one of the church pews and just kind of turn around using soft natural lighting, and just the pain and the struggle and the pride and the strength that's in this woman's face, I think really captures this project. One of the great things about this project and photographing these women in their church hats is that the work translated well to the stage. So there's a play entitled Crowns that opened in New Jersey, Princeton University. Once Crowns was finished and the book was completed, I knew there were more subjects out there for me to photograph in other projects. Queens is about the unique relationship that Black women have with their hair all around the world. We went to hair shows from Africa to London, New York, Atlanta. Going to a hair show was like going to a fashion show for hair. From afros to braids to ponytails, you name it. My history lesson came from my daughter, who I didn't do her hair. I basically just put a hat on her head. And she got tired of that. Oh boy. Growing up with four sisters, having done Queens, I have more of an appreciation for women and their hair and what they had to go through, especially on Saturday nights, where my mom sat them all in the kitchen and put the hot comb on their hair, and she did their hair Saturday night in preparation for church on Sunday mornings. Women in their hair, it's more than as a man when we just kind of groom our hair, but with women, it's a statement about who they are, politically, socially, economically. I learned in Queens that it's not just about fixing their hair in the morning. It's what type of job they get. It's how they are perceived, the type of man that they can date. The women in Africa wanted American styles. And a lot of people would say, well, why not your traditional African hair? You know, this is beautiful. And they recognize that. And they say, well, we're not doing this just because we want to have the European, you know, white style and straighten our hair and that sort of thing. They said, we just want to be up to date with the world. So they loved their tradition, but they just wanted to make sure that they were being up to date with fashion, which I thought was pretty cool. Jewels is a project that looks at phenomenal Black women over the age of 50. Women who may have raised a son alone, educators, political activists, teachers, doctors, just to look at these women who have overcome some sort of difficulty, some sort of obstacle in their life, and have gone on to do great things. Having Ruby Dee on the cover of Jewels was a blessing. I was fortunate to meet this incredible woman. I tell my friends, spending time with Ruby Dee was like being with my grandmother and my daughter at the same time. Just a wealth of wisdom, and she made me feel really, really comfortable. I feel really blessed to have had the opportunity to turn my camera in front of some of the most dynamic women on the planet, in my opinion, for the world to see.